Well, I stand by what I've said in regards to Rishi Sunak. On the 30th of January of this year, I called for the Prime Minister, Boris Johnson, to stand down and for Rishi Sunak to take over. I think he's got those qualities that I've outlined in my Big Opinion monologue, but he's out of the race. He's run a terrible campaign, and all the perceptions that a lot of people had about this guy, being rich, being out of touch, being aloof, have manifested themselves. They've writ large, and the Tory faithful aren't having him. And I think, David Hamilton, that we can't afford another 4 weeks of this meaningless contest. We're in an economic emergency, and I think we need a new Prime Minister right now.
Mark, I totally agree with you. I think I'm bored with the whole thing. Let's just get on with it. I think the problem with the pair of them is that they are, you've heard of charismatic, they are charismatic. There's no charisma between the two of them. I mean, Boris was bursting with charisma, but of course it turned out that, unfortunately, he was a liar. So what we need now is we need somebody who is trustworthy. And I would put this question to you. Is Liz Truss trustworthy?
And I think that's going to be a big issue, the issue of trust. That will play out at the next election. Sophie Corcoran, what's your thought on this?
Well, while we're talking about the issue of trust, you can't trust a word Rishi Sunak says. I mean, he's come here saying that he doesn't want to cut taxes and absolutely trashed Liz Truss's campaign on that note, and then all of a sudden changed his mind. And it's the same Rishi Sunak that wants to cut taxes that has implemented a digital tax, a social care tax, a windfall tax, he's increased national insurance, he didn't cut fuel duty by more than 5p, and he comes out here saying, I want to solve inflation. It's the same Rishi Sunak that has caused said inflation by his absolutely reckless COVID policies. His entire campaign, Mark, is acting as if he hasn't been the Chancellor for the last 2 years, and it's about time that we judge him by his actions and not his words. And unfortunately for him, his actions have led us into one of the worst economic crises in our lifetime, certainly my lifetime. The thing is, Mark, he's had the opportunity. He's had the opportunity to do good for this economy. He's had the opportunity to do good for this country, but he chose not to. Instead, he chose to stab Boris in the back, to further his own career, and has thrown our country into chaos in the process. And that shows you everything about that man's character and about that man's priorities, or shall we say lack thereof. And that is exactly why he shouldn't be Prime Minister. He's not trustworthy at all.